Project Hail Mary is exactly what Hollywood keeps pretending it knows how to make, but never really does. It is smart without being smug, emotional without being manipulative, visually stunning without drowning in ugly CGI nonsense, and most importantly, it understands exactly what made the book work in the first place. First, the casting is unreal. Ryan Gosling as Ryland Grace is an inspired choice. This role lives or dies on whether one actor can carry the internal life of a man who spends huge chunks of the story alone, talking to an empty ship, and then eventually building a friendship with what is basically a rock shaped puppet. Gosling nails it. His facial expressions, the dry sarcasm, the humor, the panic, the warmth, the way his whole face changes when Grace starts to genuinely care about Rocky. He makes Grace feel alive in a way that honestly feels irreplaceable. I am not convinced another actor could have pulled this off with that exact balance. Gosling just has so much charm. Sandra Hüller is also perfect as Strat. She brings that severe, brutally efficient energy the role needs, but there's still just enough humanity underneath it to remind you she isn't just cold. She is carrying the weight of the extinction of the human race, and you feel that in every scene she's in. And then there's Rocky. Rocky is the centerpiece of the whole movie, and they absolutely got him right. The voice performance from James Ortiz is fantastic, sardonic, funny, weirdly lovable, but the real miracle is that Rocky feels physically alive. Using puppetry instead of burying him under soulless CGI was one of the smartest decisions they made in this movie. Tiny movements, little sounds, subtle shifts in posture, they make this character, who is essentially a rock, become one of the most expressive beings on the screen. That is peak filmmaking. Hollywood really needs to learn this lesson already. Practical effects give you texture, tangibility, weight. Computers can imitate that to some extent, but they can't replace it. And visually, this movie is gorgeous. The Hail Mary feels like a real spacecraft because it was built like one. It feels inhabited, mechanical, tactile. Grace moving through zero G actually looks real because they used practical rigging effects wherever they could, instead of just smearing fake weightlessness across the screen in post production. That matters. It gives the whole film a physical reality that most modern sci fi movies are missing. And the visuals in space are incredible. Tau Ceti, the astrophage and infrared, the saturation, the color palette, the depth. This whole movie has a rich, glossy visual language that feels really rare right now in movies. It looks complex, it looks expensive in the right way, it looks made, not rendered on a computer. The score also deserves more attention than it's probably going to get. It's subtle, atmospheric, and it serves the emotional current of the film instead of trying to bully you into feeling something. And honestly, the use of Champagne Supernova in the marketing has basically made it the movie's spiritual theme song in my head. But the musical moment that really lands the most in the movie is Sandra Hüller's karaoke performance of Sign of the Times. That scene is beautiful, haunting, emotionally raw, and unforgettable. It feels very specific to the movie because it is. It's not in the book. And it doesn't feel like a cheap needle drop, not nostalgia bait. It's earned. And that brings me to the adaptation itself, which is where this movie could have failed. Because adapting a book like Project Hail Mary is a tightrope walk. If you stay too faithful to the story, you risk bogging the movie down in complex science explanations and internal monologue of Grace. If you simplify too much, you lose the soul of the story. This movie threads that needle beautifully. It keeps the moments from the book that actually matter, but it also knows what to trim and what to add. Some of the heavier science and introspection gets streamlined, and that is absolutely the right call. Because the beating heart of the story is Grace and Rocky. Their friendship is the foundation of the movie, and it's what makes the movie work. Watching them solve problems together, learn how to communicate, gradually understand each other as people from completely different civilizations, and the humor. That is the magic. That is the emotional engine of the story, and the movie clearly understands that. Even the flashbacks as Grace gets his memory back are placed exactly where they need to be. They don't feel like interruptions to the story. They deepen whatever current moment Grace is in and reveal his past in a way that strengthens the tension of the story. This is an expertly crafted film. The acting is perfect, the visuals are gorgeous. The practical effects give it a timeless quality that most modern blockbusters completely lack. In 10 years, this movie will look just as good. And underneath all of that, it still has real emotional weight. Project Hail Mary isn't just a good adaptation, it's a reminder that when Hollywood actually trusts great casting, strong writing, practical filmmaking, and genuine character relationships, you can still get something that feels like a masterpiece. I can't wait to see it again. If you want my full written review, plus a deeper breakdown of how the movie compares to the book, that goes live Tuesday on my Substack. Let me know what you thought of Project Hail Mary in the comments.